Hello friends, my name is Sarah. I'm the artist and maker behind Denim and Rain. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I have yarn to share. So in the last 2 months-ish, I've acquired, purchased, traded for yarn. So I've got a bag. It's so big, but I have a bag to go through, and then some that didn't fit. Well, it could fit in the bag, but I just didn't put it in the bag because I probably won't be able to pick the bag up. So that probably seems like a lot, but I've knit through a decent amount of my stash. I finished out some areas, so I narrowed down. I no longer have a basket in my living room full of yarn. I narrowed down the stuff in my cupboard, and then I emptied out a basket in my family room. So I narrowed out a bunch of stuff, and then I also de-stashed some things that I wasn't going to be using. I still need to go through again because I've recently discovered a lot of scraps and leftovers and stuff that I'm not sure I'm going to use. So for me personally, I don't like to have an enormous stash. I like to have stash because if the inspiration strikes, I want to be able to cast it on. And then I like to, if in the future I can't afford to buy yarn or whatever circumstance arises, I like the idea of having yarn on hand that I can knit with. But I don't like to have a large stash for a few reasons. One, I don't have the space for it. Two, I don't have the money for it. Three, the idea of a large stash kind of stresses me out because I like to have plans for everything. I don't need to have the pattern picked out and an exact date of when I'm going to make it, but I need to have a plan kind of for it. Okay, this is going to be a pair of socks, or this is going to be a sweater. I need to have some sort of plan for it. Otherwise it stresses me out and it just kind of sits there, and yeah, it's my own crazy. It's fine. So yeah, let's go ahead and I'll show you what I've acquired the last couple of months. Also, before we get going, I am wearing my home sweater by Kadri in, oh boy, Kinetic Knitter Pressed Flowers and Hobbie's, I don't remember what it was. It's held double with something from Hobie. I've shared it in past videos. So I love this sweater. It fits beautifully. I kind of want to knit another one in another color because it just fits so good. And I'm thinking in a nice neutral, because I mean this is a neutrally-ish pink, but something that's not variegated, because though holding it double with beige yarn toned it down, it's still pretty colorful for me. I like my neutrals. I like the neutrals, as you will see in a moment. So anyways, let's get into it. So the first thing I've added to stash actually isn't new. So years ago, I made my rainy day sweater. It is a crochet sweater. I made a pattern for it. The pattern is now free because my sizing is not the best, and it was my first pattern, so it probably isn't written the best either. Still a good pattern, a great sweater. But I decided to frog it because I never wear it. For a couple reasons. But this is the yarn I frogged. I've got several more cakes, but I figured I'd just show you one. So this is Wool and the Gang Denim. They're denim, recycled denim yarn, which is super lovely. I think it made a beautiful sweater, but the crochet with the cotton made for a rather dense and heavy sweater. When I had the pattern tested, other people made it out of not this yarn, and I kind of liked their versions better. I may actually revisit that pattern at some point in the distant future, but with a different yarn. So instead, I frogged this, and I'm going to knit myself a very loose gauge type sweater because I really like the yarn, and I didn't like the fact that it was just sitting in a drawer, wasting away. So pulled it out, frogged it, this is now in my stash. So yeah, don't be afraid to frog your sweaters, people, and reuse the yarn, because it's better to frog it and create something new that you'll actually use. Okay, so my next thing that I have are 3 balls of this acrylic yarn. I don't know if it's Caron 1 pound or the Red Heart Pound of Love, or I think maybe Lion Brand does a big giant skein, but I have 3 of these. So somebody who goes to our church, their mother used to knit. They're now at home and no longer able to knit, so she passed on some yarn to me. I have a gigantic box in my house that's full of a whole bunch more yarn that I'm going to pass along to other knitters, because there's no point in me keeping all of it, because I would never be able to use all of it. Plus some of the colors aren't really my thing. But this neutral, nice creamy color, I've decided to keep for a blanket. So there's 3 of these, so plenty for a blanket. I'm thinking of like a crochet waffle stitch type thing, something for my living room. So yes, I've got 3 of these behemoths. I'm not sure, I think they'll probably have to go into a basket in the living room, because I don't think they'll fit in my cupboard. So yeah, I'm happy with this. I wasn't anticipating having that new yarn, but now I have it. So let's get into the bag. Let's do it. Okay, I'm gonna try not to move too much, because I've set the bag on my lap, so I'll have to keep bending over, because I've got some back stuff happening. So first let's go through my order from Lion Brand that I did recently. So there's some socks that I want to make that are kind of like retro-y, stripey type thing. So I got these 2 colors for that. This is the Fisherman, and then this one is Thrush. So these are both Lion Brand woolies. They had a sale. They were 35% off. So with my commercial yarn, I probably wouldn't have bought this now, because I have plenty of yarn to make socks, but because I've had this idea for a while and the yarn was on sale, I decided to get it, because I only like to buy commercial yarn when it's on sale. Because that's just how I am. So I decided, well, since I've had this idea in my head for a while, the yarn is on sale, I'm just gonna do it. So I got these, and then I got 6 balls of this gray. This is the Oxford gray, which is a really nice dark gray. It's kind of like heathered. I love this gray. So yes, 6 balls of this. It is going to be 5 or 6, I don't remember, 5 or 6 balls of it. It is going to become a cardigan for me. So I only have 1 cardigan that I've made myself. And I've realized there's a large gap in my wardrobe for that, because even like there's days like, oh, I really want to put a cardigan on, I don't want to pull on a sweater, but then I have just the one and maybe it doesn't go with my outfit, or maybe I'm just not feeling the alpaca at that point in time, because that alpaca is crazy warm. But so yeah, I got this because I wanted something darker, because my other cardigan I have is a very light sweater, so I wanted something a little darker. Okay, the next one that I got was just a black. Not that you can really see it because it's black. But I just got 1 ball of this. I'm going to make my brother another pair of fingerless mitts for Christmas. So I made him actually a pair out of the Oxford gray last year. So this year I'm going to make him some in black, which I may cast on soon, because I actually really like making fingerless gloves. But I don't like cramming for them right around Christmas, so I think I might start those soon. Okay, so my next purchase was from Hobbii. They also had a sale going on. Again, I like to only purchase things when they're on sale, if they're from a commercial place. So I recently destashed all of my Hobbii mohair. I actually had like two sweater quantities worth, and then I've also destashed some other like at another point in time. No, I had 3 sweater quantities worth. And then a few months ago, I destashed some more of that to somebody else. So I had a lot of the mohair, but then found I can't wear it. So I do like the alpaca though. So I ordered some of the alpaca blaze from Hobie because they had it 35% off. So I ordered 4 balls of this. I'm only going to show you 2 because it's just easier to hold up 2. So this is the color Ecru or Ecru. I don't know how to pronounce that, guys. Sorry. But it's color number 2. Look at how floofy it is. So pretty. But just a really nice plain neutral. I plan on holding this double with my Holst Garn Tides, which is a wool and silk blend. I plan on holding it double with that to make a sweater. Oh my lord, can you imagine? Wool and silk and alpaca. Yes, please. Next is 4 balls of this. This is the same base, the alpaca blaze, but this is the color shiitake. So I got 4 of those. And then I got 4 of these. This is the color mist. So it's kind of a bluish green. It's more blue, but with like a green, a nice warm undertone. It's more cool, but with slight undertones of warmth. I don't know if that makes sense. Next, I bought 4 balls of this cotton merino. So this I got from Hobie, but it is not Hobie themselves. This is Mayflower. Because I've noticed recently they've started carrying other brands, which is really great. So this is color 203. I don't remember the color name. But it's 50% wool, 50% cotton, and it is mulesing free, which is really cool. So I got this to make a tank top for summer. I'm thinking the camisole number 5 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. So yeah. I really like it. I'm excited to use it. Okay, now on to some fun indie dyed stuff that I've recently purchased. So the first one are these 2 skeins from the Little Wolf knits. Here is logo, super cute. This is the colorway Beach Grass. So it's a really warm green, which is super pretty. So I traded her for one of these skeins and then purchased the other one. We did a trade for a print. So yes, I super love this. I am thinking another summer top of some kind. So these are the DK base, which is 100% superwash merino. So yeah, thinking something summery because of the color. Yeah, I think it's really great. I'm excited to use it. It's so so soft. Oh, I'm in love. Okay, so the next 2 skeins came from Fiber Fusion Pacific Northwest, the fiber festival that my friend and I went to. So this first one is from Bigfoot Yarn Co. So they had a basket, a couple of baskets full of discount yarns. So I actually got this for a crazy price. So this is the colorway Parrot Head, and this is an 80% merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. I got this. Like, I saw it and I was like, yes, like I have to. It's so pretty. Back of the label. But can we just talk about this label? I love it so much. So much. It is so cute. It's so Pacific Northwestern. Love it. And then the next colorway, or the next skein I got, is from, oh boy, it's not on here. Oh, Studio Q. It's Quintessential Fibers. They have their own collection of yarn. So this is the Asher collection. So this is a colorway Juniper. Oh my goodness, look at that green. So this is merino cashmere nylon, but it is DK. So yes, this is going to become some socks. Because this is just going to be so pretty. Like, yes, guys, if you've noticed from this stash, whatever you want to call it, yarn haul, there's a lot of green, a lot of gray, and a lot of white. Those are just my favorites, guys. I like my neutrals. So that is it. That's all. I mean, yeah, that's all. That's a lot for me. But you probably won't see me buy yarn for quite a while because I don't have any more space for it, and if it doesn't fit, then I don't buy it. So yeah, that's what I've got in the last 2 months. It's a huge amount of yarn. It's probably the largest like haul in one period of time I've ever gotten, and I feel a little weird about it, to be honest. Other people can buy whatever amount they want. I just have my own levels of comfort, and it's like we've pushed past it, and I'm like, this is a lot. But yeah, that's my own crazy. Okay, so now I'm gonna take you on a little stash tour real quick. We're gonna show you where I keep my yarn and what other fibers I have up in the cupboards already. Yeah. We'll let's just get into it. All right, so this is my laundry room's mess, but this is kind of where I keep my yarn. We'll come back to here, but this cedar box is where I keep all of my indie dyed yarn, and then up in this cupboard is where I keep my commercial stuff. Okay, so in here we've got quite a few balls of this. This is going to become a sweater at some point. This is Loops and Threads, Michael's, the store brand. It's cozy tweed wool, which there's only 4% of wool in it, but whatever. It's nice, it's squishy and soft. So that'll be a sweater for me. Then these two are going to become a sweater for my daughter. The pink will be the main part of the body, and then this color will become like hems and collars and etc. Then we've got my collection of Alpaca Blaze from Hobie. That color was not what I was anticipating, but it's fine. I'll find a use for it. If not, I will de-stash it to somebody who will. More of the Alpaca Blaze, which you've already seen. Then I have Hobie Divina down here left over from my cotton grass jumper. That is going to become a hat at some point. Then we have back here some just Lion Brand Woolies Thick and Quick. Some yarn that I frogged from a project that didn't turn out, that I don't know what I'm going to turn into. We've got some random balls of like wool for like heels, toes, and cuffs, for socks. But yeah, just a random collection of stuff back there. And then up front we have my Holstgarn. These 5 balls are the tied base. This is that base I was telling you that I want to hold the Alpaca Blaze with. So this is 70% wool, 30% silk. And then over here I have the whole super soft in a few different colors. I've got like this caramelly tan, this cinnamon color, and then 3 balls of this like green. I was planning a shawl, scarf, blankety type thing with them. I also, the thought of a colorwork sweater has crossed my mind, so I don't really know. Too many ideas for it. And then let's come up here. So we have all those balls of the Wool in the Gang that I frogged. We'll move that out of the way for a second. Then in this basket here, I have all of my cotton yarns. So down here, most of it is like for dishcloths and stuff, which every now and then I'd really like to cast on to just have like a simple project like that. And then there's also some leftovers from other projects I've done. There's some paint box DK, which is left over from a project, but I think I want to maybe make into something for summer. I don't know. I don't know if I have enough. I have to check my yardage. There's that yarn you saw already, the cotton merino. And then let's see, I have some of this cotton rainbow from Hobie, which will become a summer garment. Now, in this section, I have my Lion Brand woolies, and then also a Knit Picks Felicia worsted for some socks. But I've got quite a bit of it. This will become like a sweater. And then down here I've got some scraps that will be like put in socks and such. We have some Hobbie's Metallico, which is in my home sweater I was telling you about. We have some really dark colors over here. This is Hobie Amigo, which is left over from something. Some more Hobie Amigo left over from something. Some Caron Simply Soft left over from things. And then I've got my Knit Picks Fable Fur yarn, which is going to become an Amelia hat for my father. Yeah, so that's basically all of my commercial yarn. But I do have a little bit more in the family room that I'll show you in a second. Alright, so this is a shelf that I have in my family room. It's got my knitting and tea books and yeah, houseplant books. But in this basket I have all of that Lion Brand that will become a sweater. And then in here is a lot of leftovers. Like this is leftover from a sweater I just finished. And then I have some yarn from a sweater I am currently working on. And then just a whole bunch of other stuff that's like left over from things. It's too dark in there. My camera doesn't want to look at it. Then over here, I've got my Antuva sweater that I'm working on. My projects just kind of sit on the edge of the sweater. Or on the, they sit on the edge of the couch. So when I come in here, I can just pick them up. But then over here, I have some of that Wool in the Gang that I'm currently swatching with. Then I've got in here socks that I finally, no joke, like just woven the ends to. Oh, it's really bad, you guys. And then these are all scraps from things. So they need to be made into granny squares and what have you. Same with this bag. That bag is full of scraps. Down here are all the things I'm currently working on. So we've got my blanket that I'm working on. I have this sock on a blocker, so if I need to row count for the sock I'm working on, I can just pull this out. And then underneath it is the balls of yarn that I need to continue the projects that I'm working on. So it's a mess right there, but I kind of don't care so much. At some point maybe I'll do a like notions and other tour, because down there I've got like that whole shelf except for one of those bins is all like knitting things too. Now onto the indie stuff. There I have my ball winder. It doesn't have a home. It just kind of sits on the counter in its box. So this top shelf has got all of my random scraps and leftovers from projects. I just lost the ball. So I've got like some Christmas yarns stashed back there. Something that I frogged, and then all of my mini skeins. What ran away? Oh, this ran away. This is a self-striping yarn that I dyed. Let me tell you, dyers that do self-striping yarn are wizards. Yeah, that was the biggest pain in the butt ever. Not doing that ever again. At least not without the proper tools. So yeah, these are mostly from Advent that I did last year. I've decided I probably won't ever, I mean, never say never, but at this point in time, don't have any plans to ever purchase one again because I don't really use minis that much. So a lot of this will go into my granny square blanket. But like once I'm done with my granny square blanket, I don't know what else I would use it for. And then I do have plans for the stripy turtle tank by Emily Curtis. So I do have some colors picked out for that. But yeah, otherwise there's too many mini skeins for me. And then down here we have all of our full skeins. So I'm not going to pull it all out because that would be a mess. So I'll just kind of point things out. There's my leftover from my home sweater. I've got some Hypothesis yarn, who she's not dyeing anymore, but really pretty colorway from her. I've got a couple of random skeins I've picked up from like vacations. I'm not really sure what possessed me to pick out these colors because they're not colors I use. So I'm keeping them for now. I might gift them at some point or over dye them, or I don't know, because they're not really colors I use. I also need to find a home for this one at some point. I know a couple people who might like it, because that yellow is not really yellow, and I don't really knit with bulky yarn anymore. We've got a couple of bear skeins. I've got 2 skeins. Correction, I have 3 skeins. One of them is caked up, but I have 2 of this. Ooh boy, Coast to Coast Yarn Co. There's another Coast to Coast. We have some Paisley knits in there. We've got some Bella Filato, sorry, some stress knits, some my hand dyed, some plucky knitter. I don't know why I always say plucky mustard. Plucky knitter. Some Little Wolf knits, and then the Little Wolf knits I showed you earlier, the new yarn I acquired. This one, okay, so this one, this is the Sorella colorway Home, which I'm looking for. Bam, there it is. I would like 2 more skeins of this to make a sweater. So if any of you have this, the nylon sock 80/20 merino nylon in the color Home, hit me up. I'd love to buy it from you, because yeah, I want to make a sweater with this and that alpaca blaze yarn that I got. So yeah, that's my indie dyed stuff. Not a ton, but I mean, it's quite a bit for me. Like, I've never had this much, and it seems like a lot to me, but like most of these are gonna become socks. If they're fingering weight, I'll probably hold them double to make DK socks. And then I have a couple of like 2 skeins or 3 skeins of things that I will hold double with something to make sweaters. It's like this gray here. It's coming up very purple on screen. That gray, I've got a couple of them. Oops, sorry. That will become a sweater. But yeah, I have mental pictures of each of these becoming projects. There's very few that I don't have plans for, that will probably become gifts or get passed along or trades or what have you. So yeah, there's my indie dyed stuff. And yeah, that kind of wraps up the tour because that's my yarn. Thanks everyone for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments what your favorite yarn is. Is it a commercial yarn, or is it like that special like indie dyed stuff? Personally, I really like my Wool-Ease from Lion Brand. It's so good, so versatile. I make all the things with it. But I mean, let's not lie. I do love my indie dyed stuff a lot. I love it all, guys. I love all my yarns. All right, so that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe down below. I hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll catch you next time. Bye.